The Imperium is 12,000 years old, Doctor. Are we really to believe that it could be gone in just 500?
Maybe quicker.
Quicker?
A rotten tree trunk appears strong until the storm breaks it in two. The Empire will fall. Order will vanish. Interstellar wars will be endless. 10,000 worlds reduced to radioactive cinders. Nothing we do can prevent this.
The Emperor's peace. It is the promise of the Imperium. It was the promise of Cleon the First. And each Cleon after him. It is a race run across centuries. Baton handed from generation to generation. Threaten the peace and pay a dear price. Our world will live on!
This period of barbarism, how long do you claim it will last?
30,000 years, Advocate.
Hello Foundation fans, fellow Mudbeards, and anyone who's really excited to step into the Season 3 official trailer. It's been some time since I reacted to the Season 3 teaser trailer, so I'm really excited to step into this one.
Centuries ago, when they predicted the fall of the galaxy, the Foundation was created to save humanity. But the coming darkness was always the turning point.
The Mule is here. We're out of time.
Oh boy. Good on the flashbacks
I'm a
to...
monster. I have talents, you see.
Oh.
I can worm my way into people's minds. Convert enemies into allies. Hate into love.
I've never known such love.
Nothing hectic. Just a little nudge.
Darkness is coming.
Oh, this looks so good.
The Mule is your battle, Gale. That's my job to ensure you're prepared.
The Mule's abilities are far beyond anything I can do. Her future was foretold.
Harry wanted you to have a better life than this.
We need Empire and Foundation to beat the Mule. We act together, or we lose.
Demrizel taking Gale on?
She is the only one who can stop it.
Tell me, was this part of your plan? This is where everything is headed.
Oh, it looks so good. It looks so good. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm gonna have to take a bit to break this down. My goodness. Alrighty, and with that, we're gonna go ahead and sort through some of the shots of this trailer here. So one of the first interesting shots we see here is of the vault, and the vault hasn't looked this golden or light-filled since the very first season when Harry revealed himself during the first crisis. But if you look real closely, it looks like what I think is Selden and Gale heading into the vault. And we do know that at some point Gale will be meeting with left-handed Harry, so perhaps this is a transition into that. We get a shot of them waking up with the Mentalics, so it's a direct continuation of last season. We get even more shots of whatever this battle is going on here, where we have soldiers and a fleet of ships being blown up in the sky. Judging by the look of their uniforms, this is either the new form of Foundation that exists, or it's potentially Imperial. We see here that Gale's waking up, either from a Mule vision or from a recent battle. And who else is with her but Demrizel? Now these are two characters that I'm very intrigued by, and I'm surprised we haven't really gotten any scenes of them ever interacting. So it's cool we finally reached the point where they are coming head to head, and throughout the trailer it looks like things don't necessarily go well between the two. We get a shot of that field and seemingly a child looking up at some whisper ships going on by. Now this shot has me interested. It looks like the Mule is landing on the planet with a warship. And if you look around in the background, this planet has already been pretty messed up. So either he caused a conflict mentally before arriving here, or he's just showing up to finish the job. We get a shot here of new character Beta Malo, which I believe is inspired by the character Beta from the book series. But something interesting I want to know is if you look in the background, the way these bartenders look, very much resembling of the shot we see in the other trailer. Which means either people are taken from this bar and utilized later, or this bar is more than what it seems. Then we get some awesome dialogue with the Mule where he explains a bit more about himself. This looks like an interesting shot of either the first Foundation or the second Foundation having grown. We see a shot here of some Imperial ships leaving what looks like a sun or a city of some kind. We get a shot of Gale making sure someone's okay, and if you see, they have just this strange liquid all over their face. It's definitely not blood, but it is quite concerning. I wonder if this is similar to whatever liquid Emperor Day had woken up in. We get a shot of the Mule, and he's either taking the form of somebody or pushing someone to do something mentally. We get a shot of what looks like Torin Malo, seemingly Beta's sister, or maybe they are married in the show. And it looks like they're running during the fall of this city, right before the Mule arrives. We do know based on other trailers that at some point he ends up with the Mule in front of the vault. We then get a shot of Emperor Day warning that darkness is coming, and it looks like he's talking to Dawn. My theory is Dawn doesn't want to hear all this Empire's falling stuff when he's about to take the reins. But an interesting thing to know is if you look in the background, you can see Demoiselle's makeup kit. So assumedly they're in here while Demoiselle's working on herself. But we get this interesting shot of a kid and a guy that seemingly falls into the water. I assume this is going to be an origin story for the Mule. We get a shot of some serious pod racing with one of the new characters that I believe is forming a relationship with Gale. There's another interesting shot with Demoiselle using the Prime Radiant and showing Dawn, and I believe here they're talking about Gale and how she's so important to the timeline of humanity. Notice here how Gale is in the cryopod again, but she's wearing different attire. We get a shot of Gale and said new character, and I believe maybe Torin Malo in the background, and it seems they're storming the Empire, which has me hyped. We see some more ship battles between the Whisper ships and these new ships that I believe the Mule might be using. Here's some continuation of the vault, and it seems there is also a no field being expanded here as well. Potentially after what happened on Terminus, the Foundation re-established themselves on a newer planet. But the null field continued to exist, as we can see with the flags back here. But this is also interesting to note because if the null field is activated, then how come one of the Malos is up and fine and one of the Malos aren't? Potentially this is because one of them is a Mentalic. We get a shot of Cleon the First, who I'm hoping we get much more details about this season. And I have a video of what we've seen of the character so far coming out tomorrow. If you watched my video on some of the new footage we received yesterday, then you'll see that this looks like some form of folding of space that results in everything being destroyed. Almost as if the Invictus explosion or a black hole is erupting right on the center of Trantor, which makes me wonder if this is actually happening to Trantor or if it's just a vision. The reason why I would think it's a vision is because it does transfer us over to Emperor Day, who seems to be chained up by a bunch of what I would presume to be Mentalic-like cults. I actually would believe that this takes place before he meets back up with Emperor Dawn, considering the attire he's wearing and how it seems to be before he gets all dirty. We then get a shot of a ship approaching a planet at high speeds while taking some serious damage. What a beautiful shot, by the way. And then we get another shot of Gale seemingly flying right towards the beggar. And then we get a shot of who I believe is Magnifico. Played by Thomas Lamarcus from the Barry TV series, this character looks very interesting. And potential spoiler warning for people who don't want any information going into Foundation Season 3, but this character and the Mule are very heavily associated with each other. And it seems here that he's using a futuristic musical instrument, which is awesome, and a mixture of his Mentalic abilities. Which, if you know, Mentalics are more powerful when they're either together or using harmonization. And then this, to me, just visually looks like the outcome of the Mule playing that guitar. And this does confirm to us that this is the planet we see in the trailer that looks exactly like a sun. We get a shot of Demoiselle looking at the globe of Trantor, but notice how there's no rings around it and it seems to be damaged. But if you notice, here's an interesting shot of Emperor Day screaming. Fans of the series know what this probably means, because if you look in the background, this hallway is the same hallway that Brother Knight walked down in Season 1. And then we get one final shot of the vault and the Mule. This trailer looks absolutely fire. It's probably the best trailer they've put out for the series so far, and I am pretty darn excited to see what's going on. I'm really interested to see where the Malos might be going, whether they're married or actually siblings. Hober Malo is still one of my favorite characters. it looks like we have some pretty big action-packed events going on throughout the entire season. I'm excited to see more Demerzel lore, I'm excited to see her confrontation with Gale. I have a sneaking suspicion that right-handed Harry isn't going to stick around for a long portion of the story. It looks like Emperor Day is essentially at some point going to be taken by a group of Mentalics or warriors who have Mentalic abilities, and they'll be having a conversation about the future and seemingly Gale. Or I could also see them talking about Demerzel. Either way, it looks like through this sequence of events, Day gets a vision and gets fearful of the Empire actually falling. Perchance he brings this up to Dawn, and seeing how Dawn is likely to be tyrannical, watch my last video if you want to see more information on that. I do think that this could lead to him taking out Dusk, which would result in Day having such an emotional response, and Day maybe even becoming a rebel himself and turning against the Empire. And this vision of space folding around Trantor could either just be a hallucination, or it could be the Empire actually falling this season. With war brewing and 3 factions of Foundation, Empire, and the Mule, the battle for control over the galaxy has never been more interesting. But what do you guys think about the trailer? Do you have any theories for where the season is going? Is there anything I may have missed within this video? Either way, let me know down below. I appreciate the support, and remember, stay magnificent.